I say this in complete seriousness. I'm telling you for your own good. The way you communicate to your spouse on a daily basis could be the difference between forever and tomorrow. Hi, my name is Coach Bruce, and I'm a life coach for ADHD parents. As ADHD parents, we may be really great at having a conversation that is engaging and fun and goes deep and really connects with people that we may not even known that long. But whenever it comes to the day in and day out communication with our spouses, the people who matter to us the most, often many of us fail to hit the mark. The reason is it becomes part of our normal routine. Communicating with your spouse stops being an exciting dopamine hit. So it starts to fall to the wayside. It starts to become a task. But what I've said a thousand times before is doing the simple things well is where greatness is found. That goes for your marriage as well. Being able to communicate over boring stuff, over simple things that have been a problem for years in your marriage, is how you find the ultimate satisfaction, purpose. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? I just totally, bleh. Let's, I mean, happiness. Sure, let's go with happiness. If you are trying to find deep intimacy in your relationship, you have to communicate daily. And this is something that I sometimes struggle with. Like I'll have a issue that has been a problem that, like, per se, sometimes my wife, her nose gets stuffed up and she like is an audible chewer. That is something that bothers me greatly at times. Like I am ADHD. Sometimes I hyper focus on certain things that really drive me crazy. This is something I've grown on. I don't complain about it as much, but I also will have a tendency to like carry around this bitter grudge because she is eating loudly. She doesn't know that I'm upset about it because I told her once 5 years ago. Like we've both changed a lot since then. It's not fair for me to assume that she is going to just read my mind and stop breathing basically to chew because I'm just irritated. It does help if I'm able to have the conversation in which I'm not trying to change her behavior. I'm trying to talk about my feelings on the issue. Like, for example, me being able to say without judgment or without expectation, hey, baby, I just want to let you know it is really hard for me to hear that chewing sound. It's a lot for me right now. It is kind of it is kind of overwhelming. And if we are in a good place, the conversation that will happen is like, okay, do you want me to go eat somewhere else? Or would you like to leave? And occasionally I will just go back to my office and eat if it's too much for me to handle right now. And that's probably the best way for me to handle this to just say, hey baby, it's nothing personal, but I just right now the sound of you eating is overwhelming. I need to take some space so I can calm down. But if I don't say anything, if I just walk around with that bitterness and I let it shape how I act for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, because I never said anything about it, then not only does that situation not get better, it starts to seep into every situation, every interaction that we have, because I didn't have the conversation to handle it on that one issue. The point is, you are supposed to have a partner when you get married. I mean, any long term relationship is about being a partnership, and partners have to communicate. You have to have an open line of two-way communication to talk about the things that aren't easy, to talk about the things that irritate you about each other. It is not about getting the other person to fix the problem, it's about getting it off of your chest and letting it be known that you're irritated about something. Because sometimes that is enough. Just the acknowledgement of the irritation is enough to remove the weight off of your chest so you can operate in a kind, patient, and honest fashion. But trying to carry the weight of being irritated and frustrated and giving the lie that you're okay to your spouse, yeah, I'm fine. But you don't seem fine. You seem irritated. Well, I'm fine because you don't want to talk about the thing. If you're trying to avoid talking about the thing, then it's already a problem. whatever the thing is. Trying to avoid it in your brain is causing you to interact with your spouse in a different way, and they feel it. So whenever I'm trying to just not talk about a thing because it's irritating me, but I don't want to mention it, it's not helping anybody. This making her feel like she's crazy because I'm acting different, but I won't tell her what's wrong. And so it's always much better in the long term to just say what is going on with you. If you try to hide it, eventually it will come out, and then the other person is going to be more irritated because they knew all along. Don't make your spouse feel crazy by refusing to discuss your emotions. Like, just tell the truth. Tell the truth, and your communications start to get so much less confusing. But if you're always trying to hide part of yourself as you deal with your day-to-day interaction with your spouse, there is always going to be some sort of mismatch of emotion or words or behavior. Nothing's going to line up because you're fucking lying. So just tell the truth and talk about what's bothering you so you can move forward. And that has to be a daily process. And if you talk about it often, there becomes less to talk about. And then uh, they're less explosive topics because you are talking about the things that used to get to explosivity. Now you're talking about them when they're irritations. Then they stop being irritations. They start just being little naggings. Then they start being, hey, this is just, I just want to let you know where I'm at today. And then you just start to get along. Then you start to just have conversations and talk. Then you start to connect deeply. Then you get really intimate. That's how it happens whenever you open up and tell the truth. But if you don't tell the truth, then all of that communication gets garbled. It's like there's constant static in the radio frequency between you and your spouse because the lies are that static frequency. So just tell the truth. And if you struggle to tell the truth, I would love to help you. I'm a life coach for ADHD parents, and telling the truth is the core of my philosophy. Once you start to deal in facts and your feelings of those facts, your life becomes so much more simple. There's not all these webs of lies and old stories that aren't true tying you down and confusing the way that you communicate. I would love to help you. So go to www.impulsive.life/consult for a free consultation where I will help give you at least 3 strategies to start communicating with passion and purpose to the people who are important to you today. That's it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.